Hello, Miss Paul again from freemarriagecounselingonline.com. Again, I want to speak to the men. You know, the life of a man is a life of sacrifice. You know, the more I grow in marriage, the more I grow in my relationship with my wife, I realize more and more that the life of a man is a life of sacrifice. It's a life whereby I understand what the Bible says when it says, you know, Christ loved the church so much that he was willing to lay down his life for the church, and the church, you know, being a representation of the bride. And the Bible says, you know, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And Christ loved the church so much that he was willing to sacrifice even his very life for the church. And that's the same kind of love we're supposed to have towards our wives. You know, I've come to realize that really your wife is your glory. As a man, your wife is your glory. As a married man, as a husband, your wife is your glory. In fact, your wife should look better than you. Your wife should be more successful than you. You should pour your everything into making sure your wife becomes your glory, becomes that thing that you look at and marvel at, and that thing that you so invest in to bring out the best out of. Your wife is your glory. You know, some men mistreat their wives and they abuse their wives because they don't know the purpose of that woman in their life. They start blaming the woman and saying, oh, you know, when we married, I thought you were going to be this, and I thought you were going to achieve this and achieve that and be more than what you are today. And then they start blaming their wives for what appears in their eyes to seem like, you know, their wife is not making progress or not becoming the woman they envisioned her to be. Not realizing that it's their duty as the man to bring out the best in their wife. One of the things that God told Adam to do in the Garden of Eden was to cultivate everything that was around him, and that included his wife. That word cultivate means to improve and to make everything much better, to develop and to beautify. It means to increase it. It means to multiply it. It means to bring the best out of it. It means to bring out the potential out of it. And that's what we're supposed to do to our wives. We're supposed to bring out the best out of our wives. We're supposed to bring out the best beauty. We're supposed to bring out the best intellect. We're supposed to bring out the best, you know, in terms of spirituality, bring out the best in them. In terms of being good mothers, bring out the best in them. In terms of being good wives, bringing out the best in them. You know, in terms of how they're dressed, in terms of everything, you should look at your wife and say, wow, look at what I've done with my baby. I've done a good job. But if your wife is, you know, if you feel that your wife is nothing to write home about, then that's your fault because you're not doing your job as a man. And my encouragement today is this. You need to become a man that brings out the best in his wife. If your wife today is not where you want her to be, then you start asking yourself the question, what can I do to cultivate my baby? What can I do to make my wife better? What can I do to make her that better educated woman that I envision, that achiever, that businesswoman, that beauty queen, whatever you want your wife to be, what can you do to assist her to becoming that? You know, it's not about, you know, abusing. Some people think, you know, abusing their wives and calling their wives' name will serve as motivation to get her to do something with herself. That's not the way to do it. You do everything in love. You're calling her names and breaking down her character, breaking down her confidence, and yet you expect her to be an achiever. It doesn't work that way. You need to be her #1 cheerleader. You need to be singing her praises. You need to be telling her that she's the apple of your eye, that she's so fine, that she's so beautiful, that she's the best thing since sliced bread. And it's by doing that you build up her confidence, and that gives her, you know, the esteem and the confidence to go out and achieve and do things, because she knows that she's got a husband that is supporting her, not breaking her down, a husband that is edging her on and giving her the fuel and the motivation to go and achieve the things that she wants to do. So realize that your wife is your glory, and your investment should go in towards making sure that your wife becomes somebody that is great, somebody that you can be proud of. You know, before you buy yourself a shirt, you should buy your wife 5 blouses. Before you even spend £1 on yourself or $1 on yourself, you should have spent like 100 on your wife. You know, you've got to sacrifice for your wife. You got to make her feel special, like she means something to you. You knew what you went through to hook up with her. You knew the price you paid. Now all of a sudden you want to treat her like dirt. That's not right. She should be your queen. I mean, you should take pride in looking at her and saying, man, this is my wife and I'm so proud of her. That's what it means to be a real man. That's what it means. And I encourage you to be that way. And you know what? You would have so much joy and happiness in your marriage if you would just cherish your wife. She is your glory. Don't treat her like dirt. Don't cheat on her. Don't disrespect her. Treat her how you would like to be treated. Love her, care for her, cherish her. Be there for her. Be patient with her. Encourage her. Lift her up. Let her know that she has a real man in her life. That's my encouragement for today. God bless you. I love you all. Paul from freemarriagecounselingonline.com. God bless you.